I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem, Rakah, Kadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations to the brothers who are pushing this truth around the world. I just wanted to touch upon two things that are like in the mainstream media, just like showing it, two topics that are showing themselves in the mainstream media like a lot right now, and like it's obvious who who Satan is for sure, right? Who the devil is on earth, right? uh, because they're letting you know with their actions and how they conduct themselves. All right, so the two things I wanted to touch upon is how divided these Edomites are, right? So, and the Edomites are these so-called white people, right? Self-proclaimed white race. They're actually the biblical Edomites, right? That is their true nationality, according to the Bible and according to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. Okay, so they do not know how to rule, and they do not know um, how to operate a kingdom or an empire or a nation. And that's why every nation or empire they've ever built has been thrown down, right? Because they want to, uh, pursue their own imagination, their own thoughts, and their own desires, right? And push their own philosophies instead of adhering to the truth of the scriptures, right? The words of the Most High power, right? Because that's the only way to live on this planet, on planet Earth, is by the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, right? Fearing the Most High and following the commandments. Okay, that's the only way life, you know, is to flourish on planet Earth. And these Edomites, they just don't get it. All right, this is Matthew 12:25. And Jesus knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. 26. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? All right, so obviously this is talking about a person or persons, right, in the flesh, because it's talking about a kingdom right here, right? And it's saying he, right? So obviously it's a man on earth, okay? Because you have the spiritual demon Satan, but you have his physical counterpart as well. Just like you have the Most High God, Yahweh, and his son, Yahweh Shai, right, in the heavens, right? But you have the physical counterpart uh, in the form of the Israelites, right? Israelite men, right? Who can also be, who are also considered angels in the scriptures here on earth. Well, the spiritual demon Satan on the left hand of the Most High, he has a physical counterpart, which is the Edomites, right? So called white people, right? That descend from Esau, Jacob's twin brother, okay? So, and before you people bug out on this word, this title, Satan, all right, I brought it up on the online etymology dictionary, right? Etym Online. Okay, so here we go. Proper name of the supreme evil spirit in Christianity, which has a physical counterpart, right? Satan, from late Latin, Satan, right? From Greek, Satanas, which is also Spanish, right? From Hebrew, Shaitan, adversary, one who plots against another, okay? And the track record of the so-called white man, the so-called white race, right, is, you know, that's all they've done throughout history is oppose and plot against. I mean, and they pride themselves in it, right? All the way back to the Greco-Roman Empire and all the lands that they conquered in the old world, all the way into Africa, what's known as Europe now, parts of Asia, and even Africa, right? And even as the European Empire, they continued to colonize and conquer, right? Through, various countries. That's why you got people in South America speaking Portuguese, people in Central America and what's called Mexico speaking Spanish. They were conquered by the Portuguese in Spain, and the United Snakes of America was colonized and conquered, so to speak, um, by different European nations. You know, uh, of all kinds. You have the French here. I mean, it just goes on and on. But that's who these people are, right? They're Satan, right? And they're the physical counterpart of the supreme evil spirit, right? that is Satan, who is the devil, right? And here it is, right? They're showing how divided they truly are, which I mean they've shown it since they started their rulership, their biggest examples of being divided, right, are World War One and World War Two. When they were fighting each other in the form of America, Great Britain, the Russians, and the Germans. All right, all that was white on white crime. Which things like the violence in Chicago amongst the Israelites, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Um, Pales in comparison to World War One and World War Two. All right, so yeah, these so-called white people, these Edomites, they love bringing up. They're the accuser of thy brethren, so they love bringing up the fact that Jacob, who is Israel, the blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans here in America, kill each other in, you know, eh, kill each other in gang warfare, right? In places like in the in certain cities in California, Chicago, pretty much all over the United States. But that's nothing compared to the things that they've done to each other, you know, and the things they've done to other nations. They dropped nuclear bombs on Japan, who is Ammon. But here they are. They'll turn around and talk shit about Israel. All right. So here is a kingdom divided. Here's an example of their kingdom being divided. They can't decide. You know, uh, on a coronavirus like stimulus bill, right? It's supposed to be 1 trillion, then it jumped to 1.2 trillion. Now they're talking about 6 trillion. And they can't come down to a decision. Why? Because they're divided. And these devils are just trying to line their pockets anyways, and other devils don't want. They want to line their pockets, so they're fighting over who lines their fucking pockets more. But right here, the New York governor Cuomo, uh, he's over here, you know, pretty much telling the federal government to um, give him the aid that he needs because you know he has around 30,000 citizens that are projected to need ventilators soon. FEMA you know uh, has access to roughly the same amount in the same number in ventilators that are supposedly in a stockpile somewhere, right? But has only agreed to send the state of New York 400, right? So, the disparity in between those numbers has Governor Cuomo of the state of New York has him heated, you know. So, he's demanding that these ventilators be released to him And for one and for one reason or another, the federal government is not doing so. Well, they got a limited supply. Also, FEMA is the damn devil. FEMA has been no good for a goddamn thing. As far as like emergency management goes, they don't know how to do any of that. FEMA was actually created by George Bush Sr., and its ultimate purpose is to, lock America down and ultimately to kill the tribes of Israel, which are you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's the ultimate, responsibility that FEMA has. That's why whenever natural disasters and national emergencies actually occur, they have no fucking answers because, you know, Federal Emergency Management Agency is just a fucking cover, for what they really are, which is just when it comes down to it, it's just going to be a death squad for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
A stark warning with the peak of the pandemic just 14 to 21 days away, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo told the country to sit up and pay attention to New York.
Where we are today, you will be in 3 weeks or 4 weeks. We are your future.
With nearly 1 out of 4 New York coronavirus patients in intensive care, Cuomo outlined a desperate need: 40,000 more ICU beds and 30,000 ventilators.
Where are they? Where are the ventilators?
Vice President Pence responded a couple hours later.
Earlier today, FEMA from the national stockpile shipped 2,000 ventilators to the state of New York, and tomorrow there will be another 2,000.
Though for the governor, it is not nearly enough.
You pick the 26,000 people who are going to die.
In Teaneck, New Jersey, the crisis.
So there you go. All right. That's Esau versus Esau right there, man. That's a kingdom divided. Man, bottom line, their union that they got here, their 50 snakes, right? Of America, which is Babylon, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Each city having their mayor, each county having their judges, each state having their fucking governor. It's madness, bro. It's fucking chaos. The shit does not work. But the one thing an Edomite, a so-called white person, will never do is admit when they're wrong. And they're wrong all over the place all fucking day long. It's their job to be wrong. They're the fucking devil. But they'll never admit it. And you know, they'll keep running this bitch straight into the ground, and their pride will never allow them to admit that they fucked up, or that they don't know what they're doing, or that they've been wrong since the beginning, right? Because how was Babylon, how was Babylon established? Through rape, rob, and murder, all right? The genocide and enslavement of the so-called Native Americans and Seminoles, right? The, once again, the kidnapping, the murder, and the enslavement of the so-called West Africans, right? The tribe of Judah here in the United States, right? Then you got the so-called indigenous population, in Mexico, Central America, South America, as well as the so-called West Indies, right? Cuba, Puerto Rico, Jamaica, Haiti, Dominican Republic, right? All murdered, decimated, destroyed, and put in captivity by this damn devil, right? So off top, the inception of America was, was established with transgression, which is sin, right? So this bitch has been filthy since the very beginning, and these so-called white people, who are the biblical Edomites, they have been wrong since the establishment of America. But here we are, hundreds of years later, And, you know, they still won't give it up. You know, they still won't admit their faults, and to the detriment of uh, not only them, but the Israelites and heathen nations and the rest of the planet. They're going to keep going with their bullshit, right? And that's why the Most High is sending His Son, as a savior. Because if if it's left up to this damn devil, right, uh, to keep ruling and keep going on with their bullshit, their shenanigans, you know, their rape, rob, and murder, eventually the earth would implode on itself. So, you know, uh, we need salvation and righteous rulership, and it's on its way. All these ultimately are signs, right, or prophecies letting us know that, we're that much closer to Yahweh return, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ.
The number of people who've died from coronavirus in Italy has now overtaken the figure in China.
Okay, so you heard him. You heard this Edomite. He said that, Italy has surpassed China in the numbers, right? Numbers infected and numbers dead. Even though China is like, what, 200 times the size of Italy, right? So how is this? And in a shorter period of time, because China is, you know, so-called getting over this virus right now. They did what they had to do, right, to get it under control or whatnot. Well, at least that's what's being reported, right? So, why does this happen in Italy, right? Well, let me tell you, Daniel 4:17. This is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, right? Which are the prophets, the men of the Lord, right? And the hopeful elect, the 144,000 men written of in Revelation, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. So the Most High runs everything, right? The Most High runs it all, okay? And He just gives His orders, right? Through His angels, His evil angels, right? Who people call demons, right? And the spiritual demon Satan, okay? And they carry out His orders, right? And eventually men play it out on earth, okay? And give it to whomsoever He will, and setteth up over it the basest of men. And that's the point, okay? You Edomites, you look down on the other races, these so-called white people. They look down on these other races as if they're above all of them. In all actuality, right here in Daniel 4:17, it's actually saying that, what the Bible says in the words of the Most High, God, who is Yahweh, right? What His word says is that the Edomite is actually the basis of man. You're the lowest form of man on the planet, right? If you're an Edomite, okay, the lowest form of being on the planet Earth. And that's why it's hitting these European nations harder, because you're dirtier than so-called Asians. You're dirtier than so-called East Indians. You're dirtier than Arabs. You're dirtier than so-called Mexicans. You're dirtier than so-called black people. All these other people who you've mislabeled, giving them proverbs and bywords to go by, that you think that, and when I say you, I'm talking to the Edomite, right? These Edomites think that they're above all these races of people, when in all actuality, they're the lowest form of life on the planet. They show it day in and day out. But the point is, that's why it's hitting Europe Europe, and eventually America the hardest, because you're vile, you're the filthiest people on the planet. You're a low form of life. Therefore, the philosophies you push, the do what thou wilt philosophy that you push throughout your Western civilizations, right, lead people to not, to have absolutely no discipline, pretty much, right? They have no dietary discipline, right? No nutritional discipline. They have no discipline in any way, shape, or fucking form, because the Edomite doesn't like discipline and doesn't push discipline uh, throughout his nations, right? Throughout the European countries and America and Canada, right? They have this bullshit that they call freedom, which is just, you know, the the will to self-destruct, pretty much. So anyways, when you don't enforce any type of standard on your people, and you don't make certain laws mandatory for people to follow with any actual repercussions, they're going to do what they want. They're going to eat what they want, all these abominable foods, which damages their fucking health. So they're going to have all kinds of fucking health problems, right? America being the unhealthiest fucking country on the face of the fucking earth. Don't know why people are still boasting in Babylon, right? As well as you're unclean. Just like, you know, talking about hygiene. There's laws on hygiene in the Bible, but you don't enforce any laws on nutrition or hygiene here in America. None, zero. So you have a bunch of fat pigs eating all kinds of trash, lowering, damaging their health and their immune system, as well as you have absolutely no laws on hygiene, right? None. So people ain't got to take showers, and we know you Edomites, so-called white people, you hate taking showers, you hate washing your hands, you hate wiping your ass after you shit. It's no secret. Y'all even joke about that shit. It's disgusting, but that's who y'all are, and that's how y'all are. So of course, when you get hit with pestilence, when you get hit with a plague like this disease COVID-19, right? This virus, yeah, it's gonna hit you, fucking Edomites, so-called Europeans, so-called white people, right? It's gonna hit y'all the worst. Y'all have the poorest health and the poorest hygiene out of any other race on the fucking planet. Job 30:8. They were children of fools. Yeah, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. There we go. Children of base men, the bases of men, lowest form of life. Okay? Fools, complete fools. See a system like 50 states doesn't fucking work, but you're a fucking fool, so you're going to keep going with it. All right? This whole fucking unity, inclusion, tolerance, all this shit doesn't fucking work, but you're going to keep going along with it no matter fucking what. Oh, your economy and your stock market is completely fraudulent. Your Federal Reserve notes have nothing backing it. You have $23 trillion in fucking debt, and you're about to add trillions more, but you're going to keep on fucking going with it because you're a fucking fool. These Edomites are foolish, right? Children, fucking children of base men. They were viler than the earth. And that's the point. Viler than the earth. So you see wild animals and you think that they're viler. You see certain insects and bugs, flies, maggots, slugs, grub worms, okay? And you kind of, you cringe at their habits and things that they do, you know, swine, certain seafood, or sea creatures, right? Well, the so-called white man, self-proclaimed white man, the white race, these Edomites are viler than all that. right? And this proves it. And I would like to say I'm going to make a prediction, but it's no prediction. It's just facts. America, aka Babylon, is going to get hit the hardest out of any other country on the planet by this COVID-19, point blank fucking period. And it's going to be part of the Edomites' downfall. Why? Because they are Satan. Okay? Matthew 12:26. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? And it won't. It's a rhetorical question. It's not going to. There were children of fools. Yeah, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. Bam. There you have it. And those are the two topics I wanted to, bring out, and put some scriptures to, because all day long, yesterday and today, that's all that was on the news is all these politicians, man, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. They can't agree on shit. No stimulus package, who gets what, equipment, supply. One state over here has had, one governor in one state has the whole state locked down. Meanwhile, another state just ain't doing shit. I mean, how much more fucking divided can you be? You know what I'm saying? Right? So, whew, this, America, aka Babylon, circling the drain, man. It's been circling the drain. Also, why it's been hitting Europe harder than the so-called Asian countries, because you are who you are, Mr. Edomite. These Edomites are proving themselves to be Edomites, man. You can't run away from what the Most High made you. All right, you can't sit there and colonize and conquer different parts of the world. Then after you do so, you rename yourself, right? You went from Esau Edom to French, Italian, Spanish, German, Portuguese, American, Canadian, Texan, Floridian, New Yorker. Get the fuck out of here with all that shit. You're Satan, right? You're the physical counterpart of Satan, who is the devil here on planet Earth. That's you. You're Esau Edom, okay? Right? Like you were called like you were named and called in Genesis, right? And you were a base man, okay? You're the basest of men, the lowest form of man on the planet, as well as children, fools, right? And you're filthy. You're walking filth. And you're viler than the earth. Okay? With that, I hope that this video was edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the brothers all around the planet pushing this truth. Shalom.